thing I want to mention is because we're in a public park, some people are concerned about, is it safe to harvest from a public park? I don't. Does anybody have any more of the first one? If you leave me your email, I'll email you the ones that you want. Oh, there's one right there. And then I have 8 of these. These I was just hoping we could get into little groups and we could discuss these together at some point. Maybe now is a good idea. Now is a good time. Basically, this is just a reference. I ran out of ink, so I apologize. When I say describe the plant to yourself, I'm not looking for a scientific Latin name description. I would like you guys to tell me, are the leaves smooth? Tell yourself, are they serrated? Are they low? Anything that helps you to remember that plant. One of my first wild edible teachers said that if you develop a relationship with a plant, if you look at a plant from anywhere from 15 seconds to a minute, you'll remember it for the rest of your life. So basically I'll just have a few of these. If you want to reference them, you can, but the message of this handout is that do whatever it takes to describe it to yourself. I don't care if you think about blue dogs that are climbing trees. If that helps you remember the plant, do it. So, without further ado, because we're already sitting and there's some stuff that we can discuss right here.
I have one question. Don't forget to tell us whether you can eat the flower or the leaves or both.
Of course, yeah. The first wild edible I mentioned is grass. Because grass is something we can all recognize, and it's everywhere all the time. How many people think they can identify grass versus other things? Raise your hand. So you're stranded in the woods and you don't know nothing, and you're walking, and you see grass and you see a bush. Can you identify the difference, right? Grass. Full of chlorophyll, amino acids, which is protein, minerals, liquid sunshine, energy. Grasses are edible. I don't like to speak in absolutes. I don't like to say all grasses are edible, but I'm not aware of any grasses that are poisonous. Yeah. So the question is, but it's hard to digest grass, right? We don't have numerous stomachs. It is hard for our bodies to digest grass. But we have blenders, and we have juicers. So you can take that grass, if it's organic, if it comes from your yard or your planter, juice it, blend it, and it's no different than wheatgrass. Anne Wigmore, when she discovered wheatgrass, she didn't intend to capitalize on one type of grass. That's kind of like the superfood way, is like to create an amazing story and say that only we have it and nobody else does. All grass is beneficial. I have a friend in Australia who had lots of skin problems, eczema, psoriasis. What he started doing is he started blending smoothies for his skin. He would take grass, put it in the blender, blend it with water. He didn't need to add fruit because he's not drinking it, and he just rub it in his skin. His neighbors thought he was completely nuts because they see just this naked green guy.
The Hulk.
Guess what? His psoriasis went away in 2 weeks. His wrinkles started going away. And when the ladies heard his wrinkles were going away, all of a sudden he started seeing green-faced ladies in the neighborhood. If you're ever stranded and you don't have a blender, what you could do is you could just chew on grass, suck up the juices, and you don't necessarily have to ingest the pulp, right? So grass is the first edible that needs to be noted. Literally, if you have a big field somewhere, maybe your summer house, and and there's just a ton of grass, you take a push mower, not with gas, you can mow it down and juice a ton of it.
Very often, young children eat grass. But you don't do that.
Yeah.
Because they're so weird to nature.
Exactly.
Don't know.
One more quick story about grass. When I was 15, I still have this friend, but my friend had this cat who had diabetes, right? And one day, it ran out of insulin. We couldn't go get it born. I'm at her house. She's freaking out. Cat has diabetes. It's acting weird. It's like rolling on the floor. She loves the cat. It looks like it's about to die. And I said, you know, Megan, you just let it outside. The cat will know what to do. And she says, no, it's a house cat. Finally, I'm like, just let it. It's going to die anyway. So you're not really missing out on it. It's not going to be worse. She lets it out. The cat, the first thing it does is it runs outside and starts eating grass. Mind you, it never went outside, so it had no idea what grass even was, really. It ate the grass and was fine. Turns out the cat never had diabetes. He just was malnourished. So amazing. Now, one thing I like about wild edibles is it makes me hone in. It makes me go into a microcosm. I think you guys came here and you wanted to see huge, big plants and different things, and we're going to look at those. But another thing I want to show you is something that we're all sitting on. And it's something that's on every single lawn everywhere. It's called clover. So everybody reach down, find a piece of clover, and pick it.
Klavertje. Ik heb een klavertje 4 natuurlijk.
Clovers are insane blood purifiers. So if you know anybody with cancer, or tumors, or cysts, or any other kind of blood disorder, clovers are their green. Clovers are in the pea family, so they do very similar to pea sprouts. The flowers, the stems, the leaves are edible. I juice them, I throw them in salad, I throw them in food. If you're making a wrap, you throw a handful of clover leaves on it, and it's really delicious. All wild edibles are very unique. If we look really closely and study them, we'll know how to identify them for the rest of our lives. So, question for you, how many leaves does a clover have?
4.
You guys are being smart, aren't you? Did you know that 4-leaf clovers are more nutritious than 3-leaf clovers? It is true. They're 25% more nutritious. Okay, so clovers often get confused with another plant that's edible that has 3 heart-shaped leaves. 3 heart-shaped leaves is wood sorrel. Edible, it's also called oxalis sometimes. It's edible, but it's not a clover. So clovers, 3 oval leaves. They also have a crescent-shaped marking on them, like half circle. And if you look really closely at the rims, at their edges, you'll notice that they're slightly serrated. So look really closely, and you'll see that they're not smooth. Can you see that?
That's clover.
Clover. So from here, it looks smooth, and then you bring it up, and it's like, wow, there's like little spikes on it. There's 3 great identifying characteristics for you. 3 leaves, crescent-shaped markings, serrated edges. Now you know what a clover is for the rest of your life. And we have these little tiny daisies. All daisies are part of the sunflower family, which is the aster family. As far as I'm aware, there are no poisonous relatives in the aster family, so all daisies, in theory, can be eaten. Again, I'm going to say in theory because our bodies are different, so you got to start cautiously. But if you see a daisy, you know that it comes from the sunflower family. most poisonous plant. If it's the most minute amount, you're not going to die. Greatly exaggerated and looks amazing. He just licks the leaf and then he... Yeah, by the way, the other thing that he did in Into the Wild was he would eat plants and they'd make him feel bad, and he kept eating them. It's like, it's not the plant, it's great, it's you. So, again, grass, clover, daisies, throw them in juices, put them on cakes. What I like to do with these little flowers is I freeze them in ice cube trays, and then on a hot summer day, like today, I throw them in nice water or tea or whatever kind of, if you're making a mixed drink for a friend, throw them in wild edible infused ice.
In a park, you never know what they've done to the grass.
That's true. When you're in a public area, you can safely harvest, but it's always recommended that you go and you talk to some people who manage the park to see if they spray. And then also try and stay off the beaten path, so go to places where it's less traveled. Are you going to get rained on?
Looks like it.
Can you wash it?
Huh?
If you wash it?
If I pick in a public park, I wash. Otherwise, I don't. Okay, let's start walking, but before we do, 3 push-ups. Or 5.
You made some nice push-ups there. Very quickly, you saw that? Very quickly push-ups. Alright, so are we allowed to take our stuff here, or what? Just leave the stuff around?
I don't know, I don't think it could come back, I don't know.
No, exactly. I'll take it with me.